Hello, welcome to episode number 425 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be SmackDown for Friday, week 1 of October 2023, and it is the go-home show for No Mercy, SmackDown's first event of the new series. And yeah, we've got a big main event here tonight, and it's going to feature Asuka and Io Sky in a non-championship rematch tonight, among other things, including a United States Championship match, and Rose Becky Lynch will be here taking on Tiffany Stratton in a grudge match. A whole lot more. A very in-ring focused show tonight. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. We kick off the show. John Cena, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Florence come out to the ring. And John Cena says, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday Night SmackDown." Now, you know me. We've been around this block a whole lot for these last 20 years. And I've been back here 6 weeks, so you all know what happens when John Cena comes down to this ring. But last week, a big, huge announcement was made. Because for the first time since WrestleMania, John Cena will be in action at No Mercy. It's going to be myself and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Sami Zayn and my dear old good best friend Kevin Owens, and Miss Money in the Bank, Florence, taking on Hit Row. Now, Hit Row, Swerve's the guy I've looked at for a long time when I've been away, and I thought that's a guy that could lead SmackDown into the future. Now, I see a lot of young John Cena in him, and I told him that to his face. But recently, him, and less so the members of his other group, because he's been acting out of line to the other members of his group as well. And at No Mercy, I'm going to run through them all, because you see, it's winner take all on that night. The SmackDown Tag Team Championships are on the line, Women's Money in the Bank briefcase is on the line, and my pride is on the line. And I think we can all agree that's something very valuable to every single person on our team. And Sammy goes, "Sean, it's you coming out here doing your thing, being on John Cena's right side for once. Me and you, we had my first match on the main roster was against John Cena, so me and him, we go way back. And, Kevin's first match on the main roster was against John Cena too, but, he's not got such a positive history with John." And Kev goes, "Look, I'm never going to like John Cena, but I am willing to put whatever it is behind me for one night and kick the hell out of those Hit Row, because I may not like John Cena, I may still have lingering resentment for John Cena from all those years ago when I first arrived here in WWE, but I've got a bigger problem with those Hit Row assholes right now, and I'm going to stomp out Top Dollar, I'm going to stomp out Swerve, I'm going to stomp out Ashanti, and anyone else. If B-Fab wants to get in my face, I'll stomp her out too." And Florence is like, "Kevin, chill, it's fine, we've got this under control, because each of us individually, you two have already beaten Hit Row, I've already beaten B-Fab. So we just have to stick together again and get that victory over Hit Row with No Mercy, and we keep a hold of this championship. Boys, who's in?" Just sort of puts a hand in the middle. They all sort of do a fucking... Or John Cena would put his hand on top, Cena would put his hand on top, and Kevin would be not doing it. And then Cena would be like, "Come on, Kev, come on." And then he'd go to put his hand in the middle when Angelo Dawkins' music hits, of all people. And he goes, "Fam, come on, ain't no one want to see this, guys. Listen, I get it, Hit Row, they've been mad disrespectful over the last couple of weeks. And John Cena, you're John Cena, Mr. Hustle Lordy respect. And you're going to kick those Hit Row asses at No Mercy alongside your friends here, but dog, this is my time. This is Angelo Dawkins' time. A-Dawk on the microphone, you see? Former Tag Team Champion, former Intercontinental Champion. Tez is walking around here as the World Heavyweight Champion. He sort of forgot about me. So I'm looking to get myself in the limelight. So if you need a warm-up match for No Mercy, I'll take on any one of you free." And then John Cena and Sami Zayn sort of look at each other, shrug, both turn to Kev and go, "Kev?" And Kev goes, "Oh, I'll kick this guy's ass, yeah, sure." And then we get to the first match, which is Kevin Owens against Angelo Dawkins. Gets an 80. Kevin Owens pins him with a pop-up powerbomb in 10-13. 73 for Angelo, 82 for Kevin Owens. Yeah. Dawkins has sort of like been floating around on SmackDown, which I do feel bad because when I broke the Profits up, he was the Intercontinental Champion, and now he's on the same show as Tez, and Tez is the World Champion while he's not really doing much. So I do want to find something for him to sort of like get into. So I'll find him something after No Mercy, but for now, just get him on TV in a match against the main eventer. It's fine. We then get, because these fuckers, I've done basically every single thing I could do with these two twice over, and because Tez is still out injured for one more day, we're going to get a video package hyping up the Montez Ford, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes feud. And yeah, that all comes to a head at No Mercy in a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Went up from that to Trick. Trick's on like FaceTime with Carmelo Hayes. And he goes, Trick, biggest night of your career tonight. You're facing off against Pete Dunne for that United States Championship. And I won my first championship here on the main roster. I by beating Pete Dunne. I took that World Heavyweight Championship from him. So tonight, I got my faith in you, Trick. We're both going to be champions come the end of No Mercy. I'm going to become World Heavyweight Champion again. You're going to be United States Champion again. I would love to be there in person, but I'm a busy man tonight. I got an important thing to discuss with somebody. So, I'll see when I get back when we're both champions. Trick and Mello gang for life. And Trick's like, you got it, Mello. I'm going to do it. Trick and Mello gang for life. Trick Williams, United States Champion. The best ever United States Champion. Trick Williams. Tonight. So yeah, just Trick psyching himself up for his US title match later on tonight. Then see Kayla Braxton in the parking lot. Just like on a big episode of SmackDown here tonight with a huge SummerSlam rematch main event. It's going to be Io Sky and Asuka in a non-championship rematch, and I'm outside waiting for the arrival of Raw's Becky Lynch. She was welcomed here from General Manager Adam Pearce last week for the result of that court case against Tiffany Stratton, and I believe this is her now pulling up. Becky. Of course, instead of Becky, outsteps Seth. He goes, Kayla. Well, what's the matter? You're looking for someone else? You see, Kayla, I've been, a bit down in the dumps over recent weeks. Myself, Solo, Jacob Fatu, and these Revolution boys trying to make the names off the back of Seth freaking Rollins. Buster Gates calls himself a revolutionary, but we all know who the real revolutionary is here, Kayla, and it's me. Okay? Now Solo, he's got that Rufus Hamilton tonight. And that's a bit late for that, but don't worry. Seth freaking Rollins is here on his show, baby. Then he walks off. Then Becky gets out of the car. And she goes, Becky, what are your thoughts ahead of your return to SmackDown here tonight? And she goes, no thoughts, Kayla. I don't care what show I'm on. Raw, SmackDown, ECW, Heat. If somebody gets in my way, annoys me, pisses me off, I'm smacking their head off. And tonight, that's finally going to happen to Tiff. After 3 months of waiting. Oh, this match was shit. Because there was an injury. Solo defeats Rufus Hamilton in 11:29 because... Rufus Hamilton got a retrousse nose? That sounds like something he can work through. But yeah, that threw the whole match off, apparently. Yeah. But Solo does win 11:29 by submission, apparently. Not true, he just used the spike. Yeah, 76 for Solo, 49 for Rufus Hamilton. Thank you, Steve Corino. We then come back to the Queendom locker room. Io's in there sort of like getting warm up, doing stretches and shit, getting ready for the main event. When we hear a knock at the door, and Io goes, Who the hell is that? And they will stand around the door and just watch Bianca Belair, Jakara Jackson, and Aura Mensa walk in. She goes, Girls, I see you're busy here tonight. I see you've got, Io's got a big main event against Asuka tonight. She got Dakota tomorrow. But listen. Io, girl, you're not the only woman in this roster with a big match tomorrow night. You see, I know your girl there, Utami, she's facing Asuka tomorrow night, so you're gonna do the damage on her. But why should Asuka get a warm-up match and not Utami, huh? I don't think that's fair. So, girl, me and you, Io. You know, we're the face of this brand, you see. The franchise player, the champion, we're basically one and the same. So, I'm proposing a little deal between me and you. You know, Utami, you joined this group because, you know, you had your confidence shot a bit. You were on a bit of a losing streak. And who was the woman who planted that seed of doubt in your mind? It wasn't me. It wasn't Io. It was Candice back in May. Okay, because Candice beat you in your championship match. And she put that seed up down in your head that maybe Utami are not the one to get it done. I know you've been looking for revenge on her ever since that day. So, I propose, tonight, as a warm-up for No Mercy, your girl Utami can scratch my back and take care of Candice LeRae. And then, next week, if Utami still has issues with Asuka, then my girl, Jakara Jackson, she's sort of like pushes her in front of her. She'll take care of Asuka next week. And Jakara's like, what the fuck? No, I fucking won't. It's Asuka. and Io just walks up to Bianca, just like stares at her. And they sort of like just stare at each other for like a couple of seconds. And she goes, it's a deal. Now get out. Bianca goes, great. You know, I was leaving anyway. It's just, and she goes, out! And she sort of just walks out awkwardly. But yeah, confirming later on tonight, another big women's match. We've got 3 huge women's matches tonight. Becky Tiff, Io Asuka, and now Utami Candice as well. You know. Speaking of Becky Tiff, this show's got so many like big matches on it that like we're gonna run video package here just to like hype up the match, like, you know, go back to Evolution when Becky came back and punched Tiffany in the face, etc. And, you know, Becky's matches on Heat until now to give a big fight feel to this match, which is up next, and it gets 82. Yeah, we take that. Tiffany's probably best match of her career so far. Becky does win, of course, in 14 minutes and 1 second by submission with a disarmer. 55 for Tiffany, 87 for Becky. Yeah. Not too shabby. We do take those. We then cut to Kayla. She's backstage with Keith Lee, who's like, he's still showing visible signs of injury after the Last Man Standing match a couple of weeks ago. It's the first time I've seen either him or Bronson on the show since. She goes, Keith Lee, you don't look in 100% right now, but tomorrow night you've got an I Quit match against Bronson Steiner. Loser leaves WWE. How are you feeling heading into that match? She goes, Kayla Braxton, I'm indeed indubitably not at my full power right now. I'm not in my final form, you could say, after, you know, me and Bronson went to hell, but I haven't seen Bronson around here, so I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty goddamn sure, Kayla, that he's also not at his final form either. That match took a lot out of both of us, and that is why Mr. Pierce personally made this match loser leaves WWE, because this brand may not be big enough to sustain the power of both Keith Lee and Bronson Steiner. But I, Kayla, am not a coward. Bronson Steiner may be a coward. He's not here tonight, but I'm here tonight. And I'm ready for a fight tonight. And that's when Daniel Bryan walks in. He goes, another guy on the show ready for a fight, huh? Well, Keith, it is appropriate that you're here because, you know, this is going to be your last night on SmackDown once, you know, that dangerous Bronson Steiner beats your ass at No Mercy. But if you're looking for a fight and you're looking for a final match on SmackDown, possibly the best match on SmackDown because, you know, the best wrestler on the planet is in there with you, carrying you to the best match of your life, that's fine. I'll see you out there tonight. And Keith goes, well, I was here ready for a fight, but I certainly wasn't intending on running my mouth to get myself into one, but I cannot let somebody like Daniel Bryan walk up to me and disrespect me in the manner which you have. So tonight, Mr. Bryan, you're on. So yeah, Keith Lee, Daniel Bryan tonight. Another big banger for tonight's show. But then cut backstage, Bianca and Jakara are arguing in the women's locker room. Yeah, and the other women are all just sort of like in the background. They're not really relevant, but I want to make sure they're all there for one specific reason we'll get to in a sec. And then Jakara's like, Bianca, what are you doing? Like, I can't fight Asuka next week. She goes, girl, okay, this is a two-way street, okay? We want to make friends with Queendom because having Queendom on our side is an important thing because Io is the champion right now. So I have made the distinction that you're going to swim with the sharks next week and you're going to take care of Asuka because Asuka's going to take care of Tommy's going to take care of Candice for me tonight. And Jakara goes, well, I mean, we'll see, but it's Asuka. Then Becky storms in, and then everyone in the locker room just sort of like turns around and stares at her. And she goes, what? What are you all looking at? Now Bianca walks up to Becky and goes, Becky? She goes, what is it, Bianca? What do you want? She goes, I couldn't help but notice, this is the women's locker room. And she goes, yeah. What of it? She goes, girl, it's the SmackDown women's locker room. She goes, yeah, what about it? She goes, get your raw ass out of my locker room. Becky just laughs and goes, your locker room? None of these people in here seem to really care for you, Bianca, so I wouldn't really call it your locker room. But hey, you keep telling yourself that you're a good leader. Maybe one day it'll come true. Sort of like pats her on the shoulder and leaves. And then she turns around and sees the other women just looking at him. She goes, don't you get on whatever you were doing, okay? Huh? You're in my locker room, okay? You bow by my rules. So yeah, just a little, Raw and SmackDown thingy. 83. We'll take that. It is Pete Dunne and Trick Williams US title match. The biggest singles match of Trick Williams' career so far. And in 13 minutes and 32 seconds, Pete Dunne retains the United States Championship. He pins Tricky with the bitter end clean to make defense number 6 of the US title. 88 for Pete, 74 for Trick. And, it was big, it was good, but Tricky comes up just short tonight. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. It still made him opened the eyes to what he can do in this sort of environment. But it wasn't to be. So Trick Mello Gang, not going to both be champions coming out of No Mercy. But we could still have one, because it could still be Carmelo Hayes be coming out as World Heavyweight Champion. After the match, though, just a quick angle. Pete, he sort of stares at Trick as he gets to his feet. Trick gets in Pete's face and they have to stare at each other. Pete offers a handshake at the Trick. Tricky looks around. And he does eventually accept the handshake. Good old Trick. We then cut to, you saw the Logan Paul Rey Mysterio one, so this is a similar sort of thing. It's taped offset. It's not backstage, it's not in the ring or anything, it's an offset, pre-taped weigh-in. Adam Pearce officiates. He goes, we've got a Clash of the Titans coming up at WWE No Mercy, when, for the first time in over 5 years, Big Cass steps into a WWE ring, and we're here for the official weigh-in, so please welcome first, Big Cass. And he walks in, and Tony goes, Pierce, great introduction, but it's big problem, Cash. Okay? Because he may be Big Cash, but he is a big problem. He's a big problem specifically for the Nigerian giant Omos at No Mercy, because he thought he was the biggest dog in the yard. But we're about to find out that he's just a little puppy, capiche it? And Pierce goes, well, it's, let me bring him out here, the Nigerian giant Omos. And out comes Malcolm Evans. And then Tony laughs and goes, hey, look, Stex, 2 dams. It's the Nigerian giant and little short Stacks over there. Evans goes, you shut your mouth, Tony. Huh? You can run your mouth all you want and make fun of me all you want, but your problem ain't with me, your problem is with this guy, the Nigerian giant Omos. And he's looking at Big Cass, and Big Cass may be 7 feet tall, and yeah, you may not be able to teach that, but guess what? Omos is too cool for school. He doesn't need teaching. Because he dwarfs your 7-foot problem. And Big Cass may walk around thinking he's a problem because he's the biggest problem in the Mafia or wherever your guys are from. But here in WWE, here on SmackDown, he's just above average. Whereas Omos, in everything he does, in every way, is giant. Then we get the official heights and weights. I think technically Big Cass is 6'11", but of course we're gonna say 7 foot, and he's like what 325 ish. I know Omos is 7'2", 7'3", 350 pounds, something like that. Whatever their actual heights and weights are. And then, yeah, we get the money shot, them face-to-face with each other. Bivens and Tony in the background sort of looking up at them ahead of the big Clash of the Titans at No Mercy. Turning Big Cass's gimmick. Poor. Great. Excellent stuff. That's exactly what I wanted. Good job, game. Oh, no, Mars also needs a new gimmick. His is very great. Great. Yeah, sure. 87. Okay. We take that. It's Candice LeRae versus Utami Hayashishita 2. And this time, we do get the opposite result because Utami does defeat Candice with a Samoan drop in 16:29. 85 for Utami, 93 for Candice. I imagine there is some fuckery. Like, I don't know. The problem with, like, just generic heel wins in matches is that I didn't really want to set it as tainted. Because, like, tainted implies, like, a foreign object, or hands on the ropes, or feet on the ropes, or hands on tights, or something like that. It's just general, like, chicanery. You know, Cammy's out there. Piper and Tegan are probably out there as well. No, definitely, not probably. And, yeah, just, in the end, there's just too many people out there, and Candice does come up short. After the match, though, Cammy sort of gets in the ring, stands over Candice, and she goes like, well, you know, we made a deal. We better take care of Candice right now. She orders Tegan and Piper and Utami to attack her. Utami and Tegan hold her down, you know, in the same way they held Dakota down either a week or two ago. And Piper goes back up top for whatever move it is, whether it's a moonsault or a splash. I still don't know if Piper even can do a moonsault. Or not even a full moonsault, but like a Vader salt, you know, half-assed one. Then as she does go up top, she does go for the splash, but she gets knocked off like Dakota, like rams. Probably the ring bell or something into her head. She falls to the floor. And then she gets into the ring and she clears the ring of Tegan Knox and Utami. Her and Candice stand tall. So there's a lot of this women's division. I'm going to sit here and like discuss this in depth right now because it's a thing that I just want to do. The 6 women being Io, Candice, Dakota, Asuka, Bianca, and Utami. I've sort of like christened my new women's SmackDown 6 because like they're all fighting each other. They're all like high-end women's division. They're all getting good ratings, and like yeah, that's just the core of the division. Like it's just those 6. Like they're all intertwining in different ways. So like yeah, it's just something I'm just enjoying right now about SmackDown. SmackDown is basically the women's show right now. Well, that's what Raw is also, because I like the women's stuff on Raw as well. But SmackDown is dominated and ran by the women, basically. Those 6 specifically. Tegan and Piper, by proxy of being in Queendom, end up rubbing shoulders with those 6 all the time. But, you know, the actual core SmackDown, quote-unquote, SmackDown 6 would be Io, Utami, Candice, Dakota, Asuka, and Bianca. We then see Becky. She's got her shit packed and she's going to leave. She bumps into Adam Pearce and she goes, Becky, you know, great job tonight. You finally shut Tiffany up for me. She goes, I did. He goes, well, you know, you're struggling over on Raw right now with Batista and all that, you know. After what happened at SummerSlam, I just want to let you know that you're welcome back here anytime. And Becky goes, oh, I'm sure I am. And she just opens the door and just walks out. Pearce goes, well, okay. I've just been nice. 90. Let's go. If this does end up being Keith Lee's final match on SmackDown, he went out with a bang. 13:37. Daniel Bryan defeats Keith Lee with a running knee. Again, like I said earlier on about the heel victories, but this one's a little bit different. Because he doesn't cheat to win, but it's technically not clean because Keith Lee is far from 100%. Like, he collapses and shit. Like, you can tell he's beat. He shouldn't be back in the ring this soon after, the last man standing match with Bronson Steiner. And Bryan sort of takes advantage of that. Bronson doesn't get involved. Bryan beats him with a running knee. Like, after he's exhausted, he can't continue, and then Bryan just knees him to put him down. So, yeah. Daniel Bryan with a win. He gets a 95 and an 82 for Keith Lee. And then after the match, Bryan's celebrating when on the Titantron pops Ilya Dragunov. He's doing what I'm going to call one of the mad bastard Ilya Dragunov pre-tape vignettes. He did that one in real life. I think it was against Trick Williams, where he was proper intense and it ended with his fucking red eyes and shit like that. Basically one of those, but on Daniel Bryan. It's an Ilya Dragunov vignette. He's being cool and badass and shit. And that's the match I'm probably looking forward to the most at No Mercy, is Daniel Bryan against Ilya Dragunov. Next week, it's the show after a pay-per-view, so we haven't really got much announced right now for it, because we're going to have more announced after the pay-per-view. But we do have one match that was set up earlier on tonight, and that is that Asuka will go one-on-one with Jakara Jackson on next week's show. Bianca got Utami to face off with Candice tonight, and it's an you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours situation, but instead of her facing up against Asuka, she's nominated Jakara to do it on her behalf. But No Mercy is tomorrow night, and we've got some last minute things to go over, including the new updated match being, instead of Top Dollar and Ashanti the Adonis challenging Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, it will be an 8-person winner-take-all tag team match. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, John Cena, and Florence. John Cena, the tag team champions, and Miss Money in the Bank. Taking on the entirety of Hit Row, Swerve Scott, Top Dollar, Ashanti, Adonis, and B-Fab in a winner-take-all 8-person mixed tag team match. And just announced for the kickoff show, a Cruiserweight Trios Championship match will take place as Death from Above's Pistolero, Gran Metalik, and Lince Dorado face off against the winning trio from last week's Velocity, Angelico and Terminal Velocity, Ty and Toby Marley. That should be a fun way to, get the show rolling. Quick hype video, hyping up the story of Asuka vs. Io ahead of our huge main event tonight. To peel back before I press advance, I am not expecting a 100 here again tonight. And honestly, as much as I would love to have another one, I don't know if I particularly want it, because I would like this to, be good, but not as good as the SummerSlam match. That's how it would go in real life. 91, yeah, that's basically what I was on par with. That's fine. We take that. At least the SummerSlam match was a 100. But also, there's a lot of moving parts here tonight that there wasn't at SummerSlam. So, as we saw earlier on tonight, Bianca Belair and Io sort of came with some sort of, deal together. Utami took care of Candice earlier on tonight. And, this match goes 24-24. Cammy's out there with Io, of course. And Io and Asuka are doing Io and Asuka stuff. And Asuka's gonna have her beat. She knocks Io down, back fists her. She falls down. I imagine, as if she was gonna get hit with a 619. She's resting on the middle rope like that. And Asuka's getting all fired up. That's when Bianca rushes out of the crowd, and she tries to get into the ring, to try and fight Asuka or distract Asuka to get Io back into the game. And then Cammy on the other side of the ring while Io's down, resting over position, obviously puts some sort of object or brass knuckles or something on. But Dakota Kai charges in and kicks Cammy and Io in the head. Referee still affected by Bianca Belair. Io gets red misted in the face by Asuka and kicked, knocked out. And then the referee turns around and counts 1, 2, 3. With one apiece here now. Asuka gets her win back. Bianca tried to, make good on the promise and help Io against Asuka tonight. But it didn't work. It backfired. Because her distraction actually led to Asuka winning. And Dakota and getting involved and screwing Io. And then after the match, I imagine Asuka is celebrating and Dakota, like, gets on the apron, ready to get into the ring. And they sort of look at each other. Dakota sort of, like, turns her head, like, confused at Asuka. Asuka's laughing at Dakota. Dakota, like, steps 1 foot into the ring. It's, like, still half into the ring, half not. Because she is hesitant, because we all remember WrestleMania. And Asuka just, like, laughs. After she, like, grabs Dakota and, like, pulls her in the ring and starts, like, twirling her around in celebration. And she's like, whoa, okay, like, what the fuck is that? And then Asuka goes outside and grabs the belt and puts the belt on Dakota's shoulder. And she sort of looks down at the belt. And then Asuka, like, does the weird thing where she, like, spits on her hand or whatever and, like, marks the belt while it's on Dakota's shoulder. Taps it and just walks out. So, yeah. Again, like I said earlier on, a lot of moving parts with a specific core of women on this show. It's all coming up Millhouse. The show, though, does get 92. We take that. Yeah. Also, to break the fourth wall again on the main event, why I didn't think it was going to get 100 again, is because I kept Io strong in that match, because I didn't want her to lose pop. So, she didn't, like, complain or anything. I just volunteered to do it by myself. So that was also a reason why it didn't do as good. But yes, we now move on to Velocity. Velocity kicks off with a segment this week. Sensei and Reggie pull up for Cruiserweight Champion duties. And they're like, Reggie, we've got to find, a friend tonight to take on Dante, Drew, and Oni in a 6-man tag team match. And I don't know who we're going to find anyway, like, who's going to help us beat those guys. And then they see Axiom sort of, like, doing his math stuff, like, just reading, like, a book or something. And Reggie Wilson goes, hey, buddy. And Axiom sort of looks up in his math. He goes, you're good at, like, working stuff out, right? You're a maths whiz, stuff like that. How about you, help us tonight by teaming with us against Drew Gulak, Oni Lorcan, and Dante Rios. Then Axiom closes his book and he says, I'll gladly help you guys, because you guys are fighting on the side of good. And maybe one day, me and Drew can face off for the Cruiserweight Championship. So yeah, I guess they found their third guy, Axiom. So it's Axiom, Reggie, and Sensei taking on the Drew Gulak crew, ahead of a future Cruiserweight title match for Dante Rios. 71, whatever, opening match. Not 71, I was reading Cedric's score. 70 normal. Cedric beats Bobby Fish in 11 minutes of a lumbar check. 71 for Cedric, 57 for Bobby Fish. It is what it is. Sure. 76, though. A 12-minute match. Ahead of the kickoff match tomorrow night of No Mercy. Angelico and Lince Dorado go 1-on-1. And it is Angelico who picks up the win. He defeats Lince in 12 minutes and 6 seconds with a Superman senton. 78 for Angelico, 80 for Lince Dorado. Then after the match, they sort of all just get in the ring and like stare at each other, shake hands, ready for the big opening match on tomorrow's pay-per-view. And then the main event is a 75, whatever, sure. It is the babyface team, surprisingly. Like, I'm sure people probably thought that, they'd lose because, the heel team's got 3 members on it. But no. Really, what happens is, Axiom and Reggie aren't, like... They're hanging in, but once Sensei only comes in once in the match. And they're tagged in, like, 2 minutes before the end. And then just run rush on everybody and then pin Drew Gulak with a Gomu no Boomerang. In 1644. 67 for Axiom, 69 for Reggie, 47 for Sensei, 68 for Oni, 80 for Gulak, and a 66 for Dante Rios. And yeah, we've got a gimmick change to do. Oni... Apparently didn't have a gimmick. Okay, sure. He's now got a very good, badass gimmick. And that does end Velocity. A fun little Velocity show. Not very long, but still quite a fun one here tonight. And yeah, what matters more is what you thought of the show, so let me know before in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for episode 426, which will be No Mercy, the SmackDown branded pay-per-view. See you then.